All right, I made a deal with myself. I'm gonna record one video a day about something that happened this day that made me think about the world. Today is about the price of freedom. So one of my employee today shocked me. Generally, I find that Malaysian employees, Malaysian people, have a poor understanding of the sciences, namely chemistry, physics, mathematics, and so forth. So, the majority of my staff, no, I don't run a very high-end company, but we're still a knowledge-based business. So, majority of my staff don't really know how to do math. They have difficulty even with basic algebra. Luckily, they don't have to do math because majority of the employees and the workforce in Malaysia, if you come here, you'll find out they're very good at one thing: sales and marketing. Well, they're not very good at it, but that's what they can do, sales and marketing. When it comes to sciences, when it comes to higher level of thinking, that is non-relation based, they have a difficult time. The Chinese have a difficult time, the Malays have a difficult time, the Indians have a difficult time. Okay, so just a side note, the Indians here are not the type of Indians you would meet, let's say, in Europe or North America. Indian here are the homies Indians, the hardy riding, the beer chugging, and the rougher Southern Indians. It's mind-boggling. But surprisingly, the Indians and the Chinese are terrible at math. So today, one of my employees, very hardworking, capable young lady. She was trying to figure out what the concentration and the potency of a particular product is. And she could not figure it out. She said, I just can't figure it out. I don't understand. Then I told her, let's write the equation out. Let's think things through. But a typical Chinese educated thinker, she immediately trying to rush into an answer instead of figuring out the steps, right? Because I don't want to say it sounds just like a culturalist, but if you grew up in a Chinese cultural background, you tend to terrified looking bad and not appear to know something, which means that you either pretend that you know or you ignore the subject, or two, you become self-defensive very quickly. And the second thing about the Chinese culture is that they don't like to spend time in the process. They like to get to the answer. And this is, I see this in every facet of Chinese life, right? They just want to get to the end goal. They don't enjoy the process, so to speak. It's like getting rich. They want it today, get rich. They don't enjoy the process of getting rich, the process of acquiring knowledge and fail and stand up on your feet and build yourself, your capability, your self-confidence, your tenacity. They don't enjoy that. They just like, let me get rich now. Let me get the problem solved today. It's a very rushed culture. I hope that Chinese who listen to this, maybe they will get offended, but hopefully they reflect on themselves. Because frankly, I'm part Chinese, so I understand. I kind of understand what they're going through. It's not completely their fault. It's the cultural milieu that forced them to be this way. And then that habit extends into adulthood, and generation after generation continue forth, right? So anyway, let's go back to this subject of this employee. So she shocked me by telling me that she did not have to take chemistry, physics, and all the major hard sciences in high school. Now, me coming from United States education, even if doesn't matter whether you're advanced placement students or called AP students, I hope they still have that. Maybe that's showing my age. Or you're just normal students on a normal educational track. Or even if you're struggling, you still have to take these basic sciences. So science, physics, math, chemistry, these things are required, basic requirement for anyone. Whether you want to pursue a career in the STEM, STEM field or not, right? Because it's a skill. I mean, we don't get me wrong. Not that when I went to school, I understand why I need to learn and what use there is for these things, but you learn it to pass the grade, pass the class, get the grade, so you can move on, right? But apparently here in Malaysia, that is not required. That is not required. Can you imagine? Chemistry is not required. Math is not required. Oh, physics is not required. I mean, look, yeah, these things teach you how to think. These teach you how to do basic, so many things. I mean, so one of the things that I had to teach her today is how to write in units, whether it's milligram, dollars, whatever the unit of the measurement that is. You have to write that into the equation, and those units may or may not cancel out, and those units have to align with your final answer. When she writes the equation, she just write numbers, and boom, number without units and number at the end without unit. No, she doesn't even understand. She's multiplying weight and somehow getting dollar as answer, or getting currency as answer. So somehow a weight plus a percentage became a dollar at the end. So this to me was very, very funny, but also very, very sad. And this lead to me the topic of price of freedom. In the West, we believe, or maybe I should say they now, because I don't really feel Western anymore. They believe people should have freedom, and even children. At 1 year old, let the kids do or develop himself naturally. Well, the problem with that these days, it sounds great, and and it's a way for the adult to defend themselves for acting like a foolish person because they do whatever they like. But the reality is, why should you let children do whatever they like? Why should you let high school students not force them to learn these sciences, even if they're not good at it? Because I can tell you that if most people, majority of human race, I can't put a percentage on it, but it's pretty damn high. If you let them do whatever they like, they will choose the easy, fun, painless route. Of course. And that extends into adulthood. Most adults is not going to do the difficult thing, the hard thing, the challenging thing, the painful thing. This is the reason why there are a million motivational videos out there encourage people to do that. Because if you want to grow as an individual, you want to develop, you want to succeed, you want to become powerful, rich, famous, blah, 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 blah. Well, those people didn't do that by accident. They didn't do that by free choice. Believe me, they put in some hard work behind when they're not in front of other people. There's a Chinese saying, 想在人前显贵，就要在人后受罪. What that means is that you want to show off in front of people, you need to work your ass off behind people when the people are not seeing you. That's the only way you can show off, right? So, of course, this girl, given choice whether to take something that she's not good at and doesn't enjoy, of course she was like, no thank you. No thank you very much. I'll choose the one I enjoy, or the easier, aka the easier route. That is why when I look at today Chinese education versus American education, and I shower praise on the American education earlier compared to Malaysian education, but even American education, when I look at my education in the US, and I was in advanced placement, compared to the normal level of Chinese education I see the kids are doing today, Jesus, there is no comparison. I see Chinese students doing differential calculus in high school. In the US, differential calculus is college level courses. They're doing math I don't even understand. I hold a master's degree from an American university, and they're doing math I don't understand. And as you become more educated, as you work at a higher value, higher level of work, you realize you really do need these skills. If you want to work a high level of management, high level of engineering, high level of medicine, you need these. You need no math. You need no probability. You need know how to calculate, use statistical mathematical model to find out what you're doing. Because majority of things in life isn't 1 or 0. It's somewhere between 1 or 0. It's in the gray area. And then that is statistical probabilities. So the price of freedom, there is a price to freedom. The price of freedom, if you know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're doing, is ignorance, is laziness, is lack of development. And I'll be frank with you, I look at Chinese people, and fundamentally by nature, Chinese people are pretty lazy, okay? And the only reason why Chinese people are so successful today, and they're developing so fast, is because they're forced by their parents, they're forced by the government, they're forced by their whoever that's over their head to do these things. Who the hell wants to work 9 hours a day? 9 to 9, 6 days a week. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody except a few selected individuals like myself who are entrepreneurs, who are driven to succeed. Majority of people don't want to do that. So if you want to develop yourself, if a society want to develop, if you want your family to enjoy a good living, you have to subject yourself to that kind of push, that kind of intense, dedicated effort. And frankly, whether it's the United States, Malaysia, China, the majority of people aren't willing to do that. So then maybe the price of freedom is too high. Maybe people need to be told what to do instead of letting them to choose. I hope for those who are open-minded and hear this, my unorthodox talk and my counter-intuitive or counter-trend rather talk will understand what I'm saying. I know a lot of your Asians out there, whether you're Chinese, Indian, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for your Western listeners, and maybe there are a few of you guys, take what I said to heart, and you'll understand that the price of freedom often is very high. And if you live in the West, I applaud you because in the Western societies, there are much higher level of self-responsibility, of self-awareness than in Asia. And West needs that because they're given so much freedom. If you can't even manage yourself, then forget it. You're going to be an utter failure. But for Asia, freedom is encroaching on Asia. Individual freedom, individual entitlement is encroaching on Asia. But Asia doesn't have the cultural infrastructure to handle that yet. So if the parents are not enforcing these onto their children and they buy into the Western value without the Western cultural infrastructure that enforces the personal responsibility, personal development, and personal drive, then where is Asian society going? That's what I want to say today. Good luck, my Asian and Western brothers and sisters.